चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगामई की यमुनामई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಅవ్వకుండా ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಚೂಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ.
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauranga Darshan Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatyadesh Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna. I offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees who are assembled here. This evening I was asked to speak on Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam shloka, right? Who is the organizer? The central shloka of Gopi Gita. Yes, this is one of the most profound statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam itself is profound. Sarva Vedanta Saram Hi Sri Bhagavatam Ishyate Tadra Samrita Triptasya Nanyatrasya Ratihi Kochit. So one who has tasted the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, Tadra Samrita Triptasya, one who derives satisfaction in relishing the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, will not find or will not attempt to find some nectar somewhere else. Right? That is the greatness of this literature, Srimad Bhagavatam. Adhyatma Deepam. Bhagavatam is that lamp that illuminates the soul. Adhyatma Deepam Atititir Shatantamodham. Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Guhyam Tam Vyasa Sunamupayami Guru Mudina. Out of great compassion, Sukadeva Goswami spoke this Srimad Bhagavatam. And when he was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, even his guru, Vyasadeva, and his Paramaguru, Narada Muni, they both were sitting in the audience and hearing Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami as if they are hearing for the first time. To that degree, Srimad Bhagavatam has empowered Sukadeva Goswami. So Bhagavatam is the essence of all scriptures. Nigama kalpatarorgalitam phalam sukamukhadamritadrava samhitam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhurahorasika bhuvi bhavuka. Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the desired tree of all Vedic scriptures. And when Sukadeva Goswami spoke that Srimad Bhagavatam, which is already like a tasty fruit, has become like nectarian juice. We just have to drink it. So in this nectarian literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the essence of all scriptures, the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is considered the essence. Bhagavatam itself is essence, but the essence of Bhagavatam is the 10th canto. The most exciting part of entire Srimad Bhagavatam is the 10th canto, which is like the lotus face of Krishna. And within the 10th canto, these 5 chapters describing Krishna's Rasa Leela, 10th canto, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 chapters, they are considered the further essence. The most exciting part of entire Bhagavatam is 10th canto, and in 10th canto, exciting part is the Rasa Panchadhyaya. And in the middle of Rasa Panchadhyaya, the Rasa Panchadhyaya is like smiling of Krishna. Like entire 10th canto is like lotus face of Krishna, and Rasa Panchadhyaya is like smile of Krishna. And in that Panchadhyaya, 5 chapters, also the middle chapter, which is 31st chapter, Gopi Gita, that is even further essence. And in that Rasa Panchadhyaya, in that Gopi Gita, the middle shloka is, one of the middle shlokas is Tava kathamritam shloka. Just imagine the greatness of this one little shloka. Tava kathamritam, tapta jivanam. We are going to discuss that. I am not qualified to speak on this, but I am grateful that Krishna, Guru and Vaishnavas, they have mercifully given us an opportunity to discuss this beautiful shloka and meditate on its meaning and come little closer to the lotus feet of Krishna. This shloka is definitely very, very elevated shloka, but it's not describing the esoteric madhurya loving exchanges between Krishna and the gopis. Although Rasapanchadhyaya is like that, but this one shloka is more generic in the sense that it's describing the glory of general Krishna Katha and the potency of Krishna Katha in elevating the consciousness of common people like many of us. So let's try to discuss this shloka. And what is the speciality of Rasa Panchadhyaya? Many people think that Krishna's Rasa Leela is like a mundane affair between one boy and multiple girls, that who are the wives of other people. But that is not so. It's not mundane lust, it's divine love, spiritual love. Rasa Leela between Krishna and the gopis of Vrindavan is the topmost manifestation of love between the Lord and his devotees. When a devotee's love for Krishna and Krishna's reciprocation with the love of that devotee reaches its epitome, crescendo, that is Rasa Panchadhyaya, Rasa Leela. Krishna in his cowhead boy form in Vrindavan is the topmost manifestation of absolute truth. And the gopis of Vrindavan are the topmost devotees of Krishna. And the exchange happening between Krishna and these gopis, how can that be mundane? It's on a very, very elevated transcendental platform. Right? So that is the greatness of Rasa Leela. And in the middle, Krishna just left the gopis because Krishna actually called the gopis by playing his flute. And all these gopis left everything. Pati sutanvayad bhratrubandhava ati vilanghyate nyachyutagata gati vidastavo adgita mohita kitavayoshita kastya jayanishi. They left their Pati, Sutta, Bhratru, Bandhava, all these people, and they came to Krishna. But Krishna says, why did you come here? You're supposed to be at your home. It's the middle of the night. And this forest is filled with so many ferocious animals. You're not supposed to be here. Please go back. Please go back. Krishna is saying like that. But the gopis said, no, we cannot go back. Although Krishna is saying go back, Krishna meant stay back. Only pure devotees can hear go back as stay back. Although they are totally opposite to each other. So when the consciousness is pure, we can hear a yes behind a no and no behind a yes. We understand the intention behind the words. The gopis understood. Although Krishna is asking us to go back, he expects us to stay back. They stayed back, pleading Krishna, please, we'll be here only. Then Krishna started dancing with them. All the gopis of Vrindavan, they hardly get an opportunity to associate with Krishna like the Gopas. Sometimes when Krishna goes out to the forest and plays with them along with the cows and the calves and the monkeys, sometimes the gopis feel, why we are bound in our homes? We also should have gone to the forest along with the Gopas. One day Radharani even wore dress like a Gopa externally and wanted to go with Krishna, holding a calf in her hand. So the gopis are feeling intense separation from Krishna like that. Then finally the gopis got this opportunity to associate with Krishna on the Sharat Purnima night. And they felt fortunate. Oh, we got such wonderful audience of Krishna and association of Krishna. They felt very fortunate. In one sense, there's a slight tinge of pride in them. Then what did Krishna do? Krishna left them, and the gopis were singing their song of separation. And the song of separation is called Gopi Gita. Now let's begin. In this particular shloka of Gopi Gita, they say, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurita Jana Tava Kathamritam. Now please hear very attentively, there will be quiz at the end. Right? There are multiple meanings to each phrase of this shloka. All of you know this in your memory. Please recite this shloka. Tava Kathamritam Tava kathamritam. Tava means Krishna. The gopis are addressing Krishna, right? Tava means yours, O Krishna. Kathamritam. Katha means his topics. Amrita means nectar. Oh Krishna, your topics are like nectar. Krishna Katha is like nectar. So Krishna Katha is of two types. Tava Kathamritam word has two meanings. Krishna Katha is of two types. One is Katha spoken about Krishna. Second is Katha spoken by Krishna. What is a Katha spoken by Krishna? Bhagavad Gita, Uddhava Gita, or anything that Krishna speaks. What is Katha spoken about Krishna? Srimad Bhagavatam, or any other glorification done by any devotee, praising Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Leela. So, there are two meanings of this Tava Kathamritam. Krishna, whatever words you speak, or whatever words are spoken about you, that's all nectar. Tava Kathamritam. Right? Nigamakalpataror garitam phalam sukamakad amrita drava samyutam. This is amrita, it's nectar. Parasparam tvad gunavada sidhu piyusha niryapita deha dharma. When devotees come together, parasparam, when they discuss mutually, tad gunavada sidhu. Whenever devotees come together and discuss the glories of Krishna, qualities of Krishna, it is like sidhu, nectar. Parasparam tad gunavada sidhu piyusha niryapita deha dharma. It's not only like nectar, it is also like intoxicant. Right? So Krishna Katha acts in two ways. Like a nectar and like intoxicant. Nectar is known to give immortality. Intoxicant is meant to make you go into some trance. Right? I never drank a single drop in this lifetime. I don't have full experience. But some people demonstrate their trance, their samadhi by taking some intoxicant. Right? So Krishna Katha acts like intoxicant. Someone who drinks alcohol, wine, I don't know what are different names, right? When they drink that, when it becomes overdose, what happens? They become deranged. They become oblivious to the surroundings. When people may chastise them, people may ridicule them, it doesn't make any difference to them. Because they're in a different level of consciousness, maybe Turiya. They're in a different plane of consciousness. They just can't understand what people are telling them, right? They can't speak properly. Similarly, just like material intoxicant can make people completely oblivious to the surroundings, similarly the spiritual intoxicant of Krishna Katha also can make us oblivious to material surroundings. When we are intoxicated by Krishna Katha, what happens is we become completely oblivious to all material temptations and tribulations and allurements and distractions in this world. There are temptations in this world, but we get tempted, we get tribulations. Tribulation is free with temptation, right? If you want to avoid tribulation, please stay away from temptation. That's the formula here. But all the allurements and temptations presented by Maya will only lead us to tribulations, right? So to forget those tribulations, people take intoxicants. right? It's a material solution to the material problem. To forget all their troubles, they drink nectar, they drink wine. Why are you drinking alcohol? They say, I have so many problems in life, therefore I'm drinking. That was old, uh, old version. But nowadays, because I'm very happy, I'm drinking. It's another new age. Nowadays, even kids also, men, women, old people, young people, everybody is into this intoxicant. Actually, everybody should drink the real intoxicant of Harikatha, right? Morning we were discussing. Dhruva Maharaj is saying, Bhaktim muhuh pravahataam tvayi me prasango bhuyadananta mahataam amalashayanam yena jasolbana buruvyasanam bhavabdhim deshye bhavat gunakathamrita panamattah. Pana means drinking, mattah means intoxicated. Neshya bhavatguna kathamrita panamattaha. My dear Lord, my aspiration is to drink the nectar of your qualities, narrations of your topics, and become intoxicated in the association of your devotees. Drunkards like drunkards association. Similarly, spiritual drunkards like the association of spiritual drunkards. Right? Devotees want to gather together and they discuss Krishna Katha and get intoxicated. So this Krishna Katha acts like an intoxicant and it also acts like nectar. Nectar makes you immortal. Intoxicant makes you oblivious to material surroundings. When the more we take this intoxicant of Harikatha, the more we become unaffected by the temptations and tribulations and miseries and allurements of this material world. We become oblivious. Maya is coming and advertising. You see, this product is very nice. Right? This is the way you can enjoy sense gratification. Maya is advertising so much. We will be unaffected because we are in intoxicated state. Right? We are totally intoxicated by Krishna Prema. Yesterday we were discussing, right? Tadra Prema Dharanu Madhuna Mattaya Manam Tume. You remember that sloka yesterday? Chittam Naiva Nivartate Kshanamapi Sri Krishna Pada Bhujan Nindantu Priya Bandhava Gurujana Grihnantu Munchantu Ba Durvadam parighoshayantu banuja vamshye kalankostu va tadrik premadharanu raga madhuna mattaya bhanam tumi. Matta means to get intoxicated. Premadharanu raga. By drinking the nectarian love of Krishna, devotee gets intoxicated. And when they get intoxicated, they become completely oblivious to public opinion, criticism, ninda. Parents are criticizing, elders are criticizing, society is criticizing. People are blaming that this fellow is getting so much of bad reputation to our dynasty. They become completely oblivious because they're intoxicated. We are supposed to get intoxicated. The purpose of bhakti is to get intoxicated with Krishna Katha. Vina Hare Guna Piyushabana. Morning we were discussing how Krishna Katha acts like nectar that makes us immortal, and how Krishna Katha acts like intoxicant that makes us oblivious to material surroundings is very repeatedly discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam and many other scriptures also. Pibanti ye Bhagavata Atmanasatam Kathamrutam Shravanaputeshu Sambhrutam Punanti te Vishaya Vidushitashayam Vrajanti Tacharana Saroruhankam. Pibanti ye Bhagavata Atmanasatam. When you drink the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kathamritam Shravana Puteshu Sambhritam. Take this Kathamrita. Shravana Puteshu Sambhritam. Fill your ear holes. Don't fill your ear holes with wax. Or Kukathamati Ghni. You know Kukathamati Ghni? If you fill the ear holes with bad materialistic topics, Mati Ghni. Mind gets corrupted. Intelligence gets corrupted. Soul becomes degraded. But Pibantiya Bhagavata Atmana Satam. If you drink the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam with your ear holes, Kathamritam Shravana Puteshu Sambhritam. If you fill your Shravana Puta, ear holes with complete Bhagavatam, then what happens? Punantite Vishaya Vidushita Ashaya. Our aspirations, our goals, our desires in this world are contaminated by desires for material enjoyment. That contamination will be vanquished. Our contaminated aspirations and desires and goals will be purified. Right? To purify our aspirations, we have to drink the nectar of Krishna Katha. Okay? So, the gopis are saying, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam. Tava kathamritam has two meanings. Krishna katha means katha spoken by Krishna and katha spoken about Krishna. These two act like nectar. Tava kathamritam. Second phrase, tapta jivanam. Tapta means struggling, suffering, experiencing miseries. For those people who are struggling and suffering in this world, Krishna Katha is like Jivanam. Right? Are we struggling here or not? Anyone here without any struggle? Children are there, they have no struggle. They're happily enjoying. But at least if you become little mature, maturity is to realize that we are struggling. Immaturity is to feel that we are blissful. Right? Only two people are blissful. Those are ignorant. Second, those are intoxicated. Either with Krishna Katha or with material intoxicant. So when you are intoxicated with Hari Katha, then you feel blissful. Or ignorance is bliss. Anyways, Tatta Jivana means this Krishna Katha acts like nectar for those who are struggling in this material world. Right? That's the meaning of this second one. Second phrase. Again, it has two meanings. We saw 1A, 1B. Now we'll see 2A, 2B. Right? Who is struggling in this world? Who is suffering in this world? Two types of people are suffering. Who is suffering in this context? The gopis are suffering, definitely. They are suffering in separation from Krishna. Then who is the second category of suffering souls? All the conditioned souls are suffering. They are suffering threefold material miseries. So conditioned souls are suffering because of threefold material miseries and Maya. And pure devotees like the gopis are also suffering in separation from Krishna. Actually, this suffering of conditioned souls is also because of separation from Krishna only. The only problem is the gopis realize that they are suffering because of separation from Krishna. Conditioned souls don't realize that they are suffering because of separation from Krishna. The 11th canto of Bhagavatam says, if you think that you are suffering because of any other reason other than separation from Krishna, you are an illusion. The only cause of suffering in this material world is we are separated from Krishna. The only way of mitigating that suffering is to be reunited with Krishna. Right? Because we are separated from Krishna, we are not with Krishna. He is in Goloka, we are here. Of course, he can be here also, he can be right next to us also, but we are not realizing that we are with him. We are separated. What separates us from Krishna? Consciousness. Our own contaminated material consciousness separates us from Krishna. And the whole process of bhakti is to become Krishna conscious. Therefore, it is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So, what separated us from Krishna? Our consciousness. Our consciousness that is diverted towards 100 different things is the cause of separation between us and Krishna. When we divert that consciousness towards Krishna, it is called Krishna consciousness. Then there is no separation. At every moment, we feel the presence of Krishna. We experience the presence of Krishna. We even see misery as mercy of Krishna. Right? That is being united with Krishna. To always be with Krishna. Right? So, conditioned souls are suffering because of separation from Krishna, and pure devotees are also suffering because of separation from Krishna. But the separation of pure devotees is characterized by their remembrance of Krishna, and the separation of conditioned souls is characterized by their forgetfulness of Krishna. Conditioned soul is in separation, pure devotee is also in separation. But in separation, the conditioned soul forgot his connection with Krishna. But in separation, the pure devotee is constantly remembering Krishna. That's what the gopis are doing. When Krishna is out of sight, apparently, the gopis are meditating on Krishna. Krishna, when will you come back? They're saying, Sharadudashaye sadhu jata sad Sarasi Jodara Shri Mushadrisha Suratana Thate Shulkadasika Varada Nighnato Neha Kimbadha. They are saying, Krishna, we are longing to see your lotus face. Your face is so fresh, like freshly blossomed lotus in the autumn season. in Vrindavan lakes. Please give us the darshan. They are suffering and they are longing to see Krishna. They are remembering Krishna. Here their suffering and their separation are characterized by an intense desire to see Krishna and intense remembrance of Krishna. Intense absorption and remembering Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Lila. That is how the gopis are separated from Krishna. But a conditioned soul is constantly separated from Krishna, but hardly realizing that they are separated. Then pure devotees are going and informing them, my dear sir, you are in separation from Krishna, do you understand? They say, who is Krishna? I am not missing him. When pure devotees are separated from Krishna, they miss Krishna. But conditioned souls, when they are separated from Krishna, they don't miss Krishna. That's the point. You should miss Krishna. Love is not measured in millimeters or kilometers or kilograms or GBs or TBs, or gigabytes, megabytes, right? That's not the measure of love. Love is measured by how much separation we feel for the beloved. The more we miss someone, the more we love them. Our love is characterized by separation from Krishna, and the love is measured by how much are we missing that beloved personality. The gopis are missing Krishna. They're constantly missing Krishna. And for someone who is missing the Lord, Krishna Katha is Jivanam. Krishna Naam is Jivanam. When you're chanting Krishna's name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, which is like nectar, then you feel that you are living. Kalyananam nidhanam kalimalamathanam pavanam pavananam patheyam yan mumuksho sapadi parapada praptaye prochyamanam Vishramasthanamekam kavivaravachasam jivanam sajjananam Bijam dharmadhruvasya prabhavatu bhavato bhutaye Krishna nama. In this long shloka that glorifies the potency and the greatness of Krishna's name, one word comes. Jivanam sajjananam. This Krishna Nam is the Jivan, is the life and soul of all good people. Similarly, Krishna Katha is the Jivanam of all suffering people. Pure devotees are suffering in separation from Krishna. Conditioned souls are also suffering in separation from Krishna. And the Jivanam for both parties is Krishna Katha, Krishna Nam, Krishna Smaran. That's our Jivanam. If you are finding Jivanam anywhere else other than Krishna Nam, if you are trying to seek shelter anywhere else other than Krishna Katha, Krishna Aushadha, that's a problem, right? Vyamoha prashamaushadham munimano vritti pravrityaushadham Daityendrartika raushadham tribhuvane sanjeevanaikaushadham Bhaktatyantahitaushadham bhavabhaya pradhamsanaikaushadham Shreyaha praptika raushadham pibamana Sri Krishna divyaushadham Vyamoha prashamaushadham. This aushadha means medicine. This medicine of Krishna Katha is Vyamoha prashama. It will completely destroy our delusions. Vyamoha prashamaushadham munimano vritti pravrityaushadham. This Krishna Katha, this medicine of Krishna Katha, now Krishna Katha was sometime back we were discussing. Krishna Katha is compared to nectar. And Krishna Katha is also compared to intoxicant. Now Krishna Katha is compared to medicine. See, so many comparisons. And Krishna Katha is compared to life, Jivanam. Right? We have seen, right? It's also Jivanam. So this is how Krishna Katha can destroy our delusions. Vyamoha prashamaushadham munimano vritti pravrityaushadham. So what does Krishna Katha do? It makes our manovritti as pravritti. What is manovritti? The mental activity going on. Pravritti means that which we are supposed to pursue, right? In this context, pravritti refers to our eagerness to go back to Krishna, our eagerness to serve Krishna, our eagerness to connect with Krishna. So Krishna Katha will give us the inspiration to connect with Krishna, right? Vyamoha prashamaushadham munimano vritti pravrityaushadham Daityendrartika raushadham tribhuvane sanjeevanaikaushadham. This Krishna Katha is like Sanjeevani. It's like life-giving herb. Sanjeevani, you know, right? Mrta Sanjeevani, used by Shukracharya to revive Bali Maharaj. Sanjeevani mountain brought by Hanumanji all the way from that Himalaya region to Lanka to protect Ram and Lakshman and all the fallen Vanaras. So Krishna Katha acts like Sanjeevani, right? So we discussed two phrases. First one, Tava kathamritam. It has two meanings. What are they? Krishna Katha is of two types. That's
Nectar and intoxicant.
no. That's right. Katha spoken by Krishna, Tava spoken about Krishna. And second phrase, Tapta Jivanam. It has two meanings. What is that? It's life-inducing nectar for all suffering souls. And suffering souls are two types: pure devotees and conditioned souls. And third phrase. What is third phrase? Kavi bhireditam. Very important point. Kavi means a poet. Kavi bhireditam means poets glorify, poets sing the glories of the Lord. Poets sing Krishna Katha. But this whole shloka is about Krishna Katha. Kavi bhireditam means even great poets and scholars and philosophers also glorify Krishna Katha. Now it has two meanings again. Kavi is a modern poet, and Kavi can also mean an ancient poet. Ancient poets sing Krishna Katha, modern poets also sing Krishna Katha. Right? Why this ancient poet, modern poet? Yes. Krishna Katha must always be narrated or glorified in such a way that people of those times will find it relevant and relatable. Anyone has first canto, fourth chapter, first purport by Prabhupada? You have your Veda base in your phones, right? You can open 1.4.1 purport. Beautiful points Prabhupada writes. Srila Prabhupada says that we need to present Krishna Katha in such a way that it becomes relatable, digestible, actionable, and and applicable, actionable for common people. Anyone, you found it? In this, I hope all of you have this. Sonik Rishi says personal realization. Can you please read? Can someone read from Sri Saunaka Rishi, the fifth line here? You can read loudly. Do you have another mic?
Sri Saunaka Rishi had all these qualifications, and thus he stood up to congratulate Sri Suta Goswami when he expressed his desire to present Srimad Bhagavatam exactly as he heard it from Shukdev Goswami and also realized it personally. Personal realization does not mean that one should, out of vanity, attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous Acharya. He must have full confidence in the previous Acharya, and at the same time, he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. The original purpose of the text must be maintained. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. Yet, it should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience.
Okay. So ancient poets have already written Krishna Katha in the form of so many scriptures, Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, and many other scriptures have been written. But as time progresses, modern poets came, modern devotees came. They also again spoke the same thing in a way that common people can connect. So as Prabhupada says, the original purpose of the text must be maintained, but it has to be presented in an interesting manner to the modern audience. Right? Unless the modern poets take up to glorifying Krishna Katha, Krishna Katha will not go over multiple generations. It will not be passed on. For example, children, they need certain presentation for them to understand and accept and digest Krishna Katha. Youth, they need certain presentation. Monks, brahmacharis and sannyasis, they need certain presentation. And grahasthas, congregation members, general family people, they need certain presentation. If you go to corporates, they need a different level of presentation. And who else? The very wealthy people, they need certain presentation. If you go to villages, when in Govardhan Ecovillage, many of our Marathi speaking preachers, they go to nearby villages, some 20, 30 villages they go and they conduct preaching programs in Marathi. These villages are very simple people, they don't have very great educational background, they don't have big degrees, you cannot give an English class to them. Even in Marathi language also you have to speak in very, very lucid way, some very, very basic things. So they need certain presentation. So the same Krishna Katha, same Bhagavatam must be presented in such a way that these corporates or villagers or very well educated scholars, intellectual people or simple hearted people, children, teens, youth, congregation people, monks, all these people must be given access to Krishna Katha, but the presentation style has to be different. It has to be customized, it has to be tailor made. We need to use certain examples and analogies and anecdotes that these people can relate with. But the message must be same. Take shelter of Krishna. Ultimately, message is take shelter of Krishna. But the way it is presented is different according to the different types of audiences. That's what Prabhupada is saying. You assimilate what the Acharyas taught us and try to present it according to time, place, circumstances in a way that is relatable and digestible and relevant to those people, to different audiences that we are teaching. So, original purpose of the text must be maintained and no obscure meaning must be extracted out of speculation, but it has to be presented in an interesting manner to the people. Interesting does not mean you put so much of masala that sabji is missing. Right? That's not interest there. You maintain the main message has to be loud and clear. Right? But you put a sugar coating in such a way that the people whom you are addressing can connect with it. Right? The seasoned devotees, the experienced devotees, you can speak Tava kathamritam directly. But yesterday, 2 days back, I was presenting in Salesforce. I did not speak Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam. You're all Vaishnavas with tilaks and already practicing bhakti. I think most of you are initiated also, chanting 16 rounds also. So you asked me only to speak Tava kathamritam. We are presenting in a certain style, directly quoting Bhagavatam, so many shlokas. But in Salesforce, I quoted only 2 shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. That too, you know what? Karmanyevadhikaraste mapaleshu kadachana. Not Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam, karmanyevadhikaraste. I spoke about detachment. I spoke, one more shloka also I quoted in the context. Anyways, basically, the presentation has to be different. So, Acharyas explain this word. Kavi Bhiridita means Krishna Katha is spoken by ancient poets also, modern poets also. And after some time, these modern poets will become ancient, new modern poets will come. And they have to be presented in a different way. They have to try to present this Harikatha in a different way. Right? Essence must be same, but packaging is different. You just have to repackage it. Right? So like that, modern poets and ancient poets must take an effort to take it ahead. If the same old style presentation is continued, for example, and if some freshness, Krishna Katha is always fresh, but if you don't explain it in such a way that common people can understand, those people will lose interest in it. The legacy will not continue. It's very dangerous if we don't find ways and means to offer this Harikatha to the next generations. It's very dangerous. You know how? I'll go to the 10th canto of Bhagavatam for a minute. I mean 10th canto only. But from 31st chapter, I'll go to the 20th chapter. 11 chapters back. What is there in 20th chapter? Monsoon in Vrindavan. It's there in Krishna book also. So Sukadeva Goswami describes monsoon in Vrindavan. There, Sukadeva Goswami says that during monsoon, some muddy pathways are covered with grasses. Because people don't move so much in monsoon. They're always indoors. Because there's so much rain everywhere. So in villages, there are some muddy paths. The cement roads are not there. The star roads are not there. The concrete roads are not there. Only simple muddy paths are there, but because people are not using those paths, plus there is profuse rainfall from top, these pathways are covered with grasses. And in 4 months of monsoon season, thick grasses and bushes are grown in this path, and people after 4 months when they come there, they don't even realize that there's a path there. Right? Similarly, during Kali Yuga or for one generation or for several months or years or decades, if scriptures are not studied and if modern scholars and philosophers and devotees don't present them in a way that is relevant to the modern people, what happens is the pure spiritual paths shown in the scriptures is covered with grasses. What are the grasses that are covering the pure spiritual paths shown in the scriptures? Atheistic doctrines, mundane philosophies, uh, some kind of pills of motivation which act like painkillers only. Right? Sometimes this motivational talk or whatever that acts like a painkiller. For a moment you feel artificial boost in your confidence. You become very confident. Yes, I can do this. I got motivation now. After 2 days, again people will collapse. Because the motivation, if it is based on Harikatha, based on spiritual truths, based on Gita, Bhagavatam, based on something which has source in the scriptures, which is eternal source, then that motivation is sustainable. But if it is based on some material speculation, mental speculation, that kind of motivation will not last for long. It acts like a painkiller. Right? You have some leg pain, they give you painkiller. You take one tablet for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, it will survive. It's not medicine. Painkiller is not medicine. Similarly, artificially boosting our confidence by speaking something, you're this, you're that, by falsely glorifying. So that is not, that does not survive. It has its role to play for a limited time. Right? But ultimately we have to take shelter of Krishna. Only that will work. If we take shelter of our mind, our intelligence, our ego, our talents, our skills, our background, all these are temporary. Any strength that is coming from these temporary sources is also temporary. But any strength that is coming from a supreme spiritual source, that is Krishna and Krishna's mercy and scriptures, that has a long-lasting effect on the soul, impact on the soul. Right? Therefore, Krishna Katha has to be presented. If because of monsoon, when people are not using muddy paths, the muddy paths are covered by grasses. Similarly, because of Kali Yuga, when scriptural paths are not accessed, they are not frequented, when the scriptures are not studied, they are not passed on to the next generations, this scriptural knowledge is covered with so many atheistic doctrines and mundane philosophies and materialistic worldviews. And people find, why should we study scripture? How is it useful to me? How is it relevant to me? What is there in it for me? Gita, don't waste your time. Bhagavatam, hai. Who knows? Some people say, what is Bhagavatam? What is the difference between Gita and Bhagavatam? In India, people say. Some people, some young people, so maybe they are in teens, they came to GEV. They asked me to give a presentation. So I just went and spoke. I asked, do you know Pandavas? They said, we know. Who are they? Krishna, Ram, Bhim. Somehow they managed to put 5 names. I'm happy that at least they know there are 5 Pandavas. They may say there are 7 Pandavas also. Who spoke Bhagavad Gita? Not sure. Krishna spoke. I said, oh, Krishna spoke. To whom did he speak? Not sure. When did he speak? Must be very long back. That's what they say. Teenage girls, right? And boys, of course. But when I see Americans, he's doing beautiful kirtan, such a melodious voice, classical music in their place, playing karta. Here, I should not speak. There's a camera also. Okay, let me speak. Sometimes we can be more. Sometimes we can be more Indian outside India than in India nowadays, right? I'm just seeing, based on limited observation of just few countries outside India, in Australia, and some devotees are learning classical music, learning Sanskrit,
practicing Krishna consciousness nicely. Of course, here also there are some casualties, but in India, those are born and brought up in Vedic culture, in these families who have some cultural affiliation, but all of them are trying to imitate the West, whether in their speaking style or dressing style, many of them, they're getting distracted. Drugs, my God, in teens, cigars in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th standard. Life is will get become chaotic even in educational institutions. Anyways, coming back, the main point here is Kavi Bhiriyaditam. Krishna Katha must be transcendent. But this Krishna Katha basically means transcendental teachings must be transparently transmitted by ancient poets also, modern poets also. Ancient poets did their job. Modern poets or modern devotees, they have their responsibility to carry on the legacy by again presenting what the ancient devotees have presented in a way that is relatable to common people. That's what Prabhupada did. Vishnu Thakur wrote commentary in Sanskrit. Prabhupada wrote commentary in English because this is the language that suits them. Right? So like that, it has to move on and on. Right? Then Kavi Bhiriritam is over. Then what's the next one? Kalmashapaham. Kalmasha means contamination. Kalmasha apaham means destruction of contamination, eradication of contamination, elimination of contamination. Again, two meanings. There are two types of contamination. You know what are they? Kali Kalmasha means there is so much of contamination outside in this Kali Yuga that is called Kali Kalmasha, external contamination. But there is a second type of contamination called Hridaya Kalmasha. There is contamination within our hearts only, in the form of lust, envy, pride, greed, hatred, negativity, grudges. All this is Hridaya Kalmasha. So Krishna Katha can destroy both types of contamination. Krishna Katha can destroy Hridaya Kalmasha also, Kali Kalmasha also. It can destroy Kali Kalmasha Dhram, Kaler Dosha Nidherajan Asti Heko Mahan Gunaha. There is another shloka. Puranarko Dhunodhita. How does it start? Puranarko Dhunodhita. Krishne Swadhamopagate Dharmagnanadibhisaha Kalau Nashtadrishamesha Puranarko Dhunodhita. Kalau Nashtadrisham. In Kali Yuga, people have lost their vision, spiritual vision. So, Krishna Katha acts like, Bhagavatam acts like Purana Arka. It's like a sun amongst the scriptures, amongst the Puranas. It's like when sun rises, darkness will go away. Similarly, when the sun of Bhagavatam rises, the sun of Krishna Katha rises, the darkness of ignorance in this world, the Kalmasha of Kali Yuga will be destroyed. Right? Then Hridaya Kalmasha. Pravishtah Karnarandhrena Swanam Bhavasaroruham Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna Sadilasya Sharat. When we allow Krishna Katha to enter our ear holes, Krishna will enter our ear holes and enters our hearts, and he will destroy all the contamination of envy, pride, greed, and all other anarthas. Thus, Krishna Katha will destroy the Hridaya Kalmasha and Kali Kalmasha. Two meanings of Kalmasha Dhana. We discussed 4 phrases so far. 4 to 8 perspectives. First, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham. What are the 2 meanings of? We'll have the revision later. Kalmashapaham. Then third, 5th point. Shravana Mangalam. Very, very important. Shravana means hearing about the Lord. Basically, hearing Krishna Katha, Shravana. Mangalam means auspiciousness. So, hearing Krishna Katha creates great auspiciousness. If you go to the next shloka, the gopis also say, Viharanam chate dhyana mangalam. Here, Shravana Mangalam is mentioned. Next, Dhyana Mangalam will be mentioned. Right? Maybe some other time we'll discuss about Dhyana Mangalam. So, Shravana Mangalam. Krishna Katha creates great auspiciousness. How? How does Krishna Katha create auspiciousness? Again, 2 ways. Again, two meanings for this. Krishna Katha creates auspiciousness by making the ultimate goal of life attractive and attainable. What is the ultimate goal of life? Krishna Prema. Prema Pumartha Mahan. The goal of life, the prayojan of our bhakti is Krishna Prema. So, when you hear Krishna Katha, this goal of Krishna Prema becomes attractive. That's first point. And becomes attainable. That is second point. Unless we regularly hear Krishna Katha, we will not aspire for the goal of Krishna Prema. We will have hundreds and thousands of other aspirations. I want name, fame, car, bangla, I want money, I want position, I want followers on the social media, I want this, I want that. So many things we will aspire for, but we will not aspire for Krishna Prema. Why? We don't hear Krishna Katha sufficiently. The more we hear Krishna Katha, the more we aspire for Krishna Prema. The more we hear Pukatha, materialistic topics, the more we aspire for them. We keep hearing how this devotee has become so popular in social media. I should also become popular. This devotee has attained so much wealth by following this means. I should also get wealth. This devotee purchases this car. The goal becomes, I want that car only. That type of car. Maybe I should purchase a car which is better than him. Right? Or this devotee has this phone. Oh, the aspiration becomes, I should also get that kind of phone. New specifications. And constant meditation going on with specifications. Right? And someone will say, wait for 6 months, next upgrade will come. Right? Then that devotee who purchased that phone recently, he will regret. Then you can show off in front of him. Right? Because of the latest model. Right? So seeing brands, seeing the facilities people have, seeing the social status people have, seeing the number of followers people have, this dhanam, janam, sundarim, kavita, all this will become our aspirations. But Krishna Prema will not become aspiration. Why? There is no sufficient hearing of Krishna Katha. When Krishna Katha is silent, the goal of Krishna Prema will also be silent. How can you expect yourself to be excited to attain the goal of Krishna Prema without sufficiently hearing Krishna Katha? The more we hear about Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela based on authentic scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we become excited to attain Krishna Prema. Otherwise, we'll be excited to pursue these materialistic goals and we'll miss what truly matters. We'll keep on pursuing so many irrelevant goals that have nothing to do with soul, the original nature of soul. We'll keep on pursuing so many other goals, my God. Money, name, fame, prestige, association with opposite gender. This is Kali Yuga. Even sadhakas get bewildered by this. Don't think that, yes, except all of us in this room, everybody outside is pursuing all these goals. Oftentimes we can conveniently keep ourselves as an exception. Whenever some instruction is given, it's not for me, it's for them. I'll repeat this in my class. Right? Kal mera class hai, I'll repeat this. Sometimes we even sit in a class not to learn, not to nourish ourselves, but to get some content to repeat somewhere. Right? That becomes the goal. Krishna Prema doesn't become the goal. So unless we aspire for Krishna Prema, how can we make others aspire for Krishna Prema? So only Krishna Katha enables us to attain Krishna Prema. You want a proof? Go to first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th chapter. I think morning also we discussed this. Yasyam vaisruyamānāyam Krishne paramapuri bhaktirutpadyate pumsah shoka moha bhayapaha. By hearing Krishna Katha, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishne paramapurushe bhaktirutpadyate. Bhakti or love and devotion, prema for Krishna will be invoked in our hearts by hearing Krishna Katha. Vishnu Thakur writes in Sarartha Darshani commentary of the shloka, he says this bhaktirutpadyate actually means prema utpadyate. That bhakti is prema. You go to second shloka of Bhagavatam. What is second shloka of Bhagavatam? Anyone knows? Dharma projita kaita votra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vidyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmoolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrite Kivva Parairishvaraha Sadyo Hrudi Avarudhyate Trakrtibhi Susrushibhistakshanat. So, in this shloka, Sadhyo hriti avarudhyate atra kritibhi susrushibhistakshanat. What does it mean? Krishna will be excited to be captivated in the heart of a devotee who sincerely and eagerly hears Krishna Katha. Isn't it? There again, Vishnu Chakravarti writes, unless this devotee who is hearing Bhagavatam develops Krishna Prema, why would Krishna be excited to be captivated in his heart or her heart? So when we hear Krishna Katha and we invite Krishna into our hearts through the ear holes by hearing Krishna Katha, Krishna will not enter. And when we have to allow Krishna to enter our hearts and arrest him there. Krishna likes to be arrested there. That's his place. It's not a jail for him, it's home for him. There's a difference between home and jail. So, Krishna likes to be arrested in the loving heart of a devotee who hears Krishna Katha. Because hearing Krishna Katha, the devotee attains Krishna Prema. So, coming back to the two meanings of this word, Sravana Mangalam, Krishna Katha creates auspiciousness by making the ultimate goal of Krishna Prema attractive and attainable. Attractive means, say somebody comes and advertises some product. You see the trailer of a movie, 1 minute trailer, or 2 minute trailer, or 3 minute trailer of a movie. They show the best parts of the movie probably, and you get attracted. Wow, wonderful, amazing, excellent. But you don't get the tickets for the movie. The ad excited you. The ad advertised the movie so much, and you became attracted to it. Sometimes in this world, we may be attracted to a product, but it is not attainable. How can I attain this? It's very attractive. I want this, but I don't have a means to attain it. Right? But Krishna Katha not only makes the goal of Krishna Prema attractive, it also makes the goal of Krishna Prema attainable. Some people will say, this is like this, oh my God, you glorify the product so much, and people get attracted to that product, but you will not give that product only. Because there is no means to attain that product for these people. It's not attainable. But Krishna Katha makes it attainable. The more you hear Krishna Katha, the more develop Krishna Prema. You will develop Krishna Prema. That's what the shlokas I quoted just now. Right? So, Krishna Katha is Sravana Mangalam, is a creator of auspiciousness in all our lives by making the goal of Krishna Prema attractive and attainable. Clear? Shall we go to the next point? Next, Srimadattatam. Srimadattatam is simple. This Krishna Katha that has these 5 characteristics, 5 into 2, 10 characteristics, it has to be spread everywhere. Right? Srimadattatam means let this glories of Krishna Katha be broadcast everywhere. Bhuvi grinanti bhurita jana. Whoever is broadcasting the glories of Krishna Katha are very, very magnanimous souls. Bhuvi grinanti bhurida jana. Bhurida jana means one who is extremely magnanimous and compassionate. Right? Again, bhurida jana has 2 meanings. One meaning is one who is actually glorifying Krishna. One is actually spreading the glories of Krishna Katha, speaking Krishna Katha. Second meaning is one who is facilitating that broadcasting of Krishna's glories. Say somebody is actually speaking Krishna Katha, somebody is making the pandal, somebody is decorating the lecture hall, somebody is arranging sound system, somebody is arranging prasadam for all the devotees who attended the program. So like that there are different devotees who are contributing for the spreading of Krishna Katha. They may not be actually speaking Krishna Katha, but they are facilitating the spreading of the glories of Krishna. They are also Bhurida Jana. One is facilitating, one is speaking. Both are Bhurida Jana. Right? So these are various meanings of every individual limb of this shloka of Tava kathamritam. This important shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, Gopi Gita. What's the time now? 8:50. Should I continue to speak more about the nectar of Krishna Katha, or shall we have questions now? A quiz and questions. A recap of what we discussed so far at Tava kathamritam shloka. And if you have any questions, we can take. Okay, recap. I can speak more. Nobody has any questions? If you don't have any questions, I'll speak more. Prabhu has a question. Yeah.
Krishna is there in everybody's heart, right? As supposed to. So some of us, for example myself, I'm not Krishna consciousness. My life is almost like materially encapsulated and materially conditioned. So what does Krishna do? Does he get irritated or
does he get bored, or why I'm there in this human being, and why he has to be there? If we don't get any Krishna prema, we don't cultivate that quality, why he should be there? Like, what he will be doing, what he will be thinking about me if I am not Krishna conscious?
Instead of trying to understand how Krishna responds to my not taking interest in Krishna consciousness, let us try to please Krishna by taking to Krishna consciousness. Does it sound better? Right? Does he get irritated or disgusted? Does he leave my heart as super soul? Instead of thinking all possible responses of Krishna, seeing as not taking to Krishna consciousness, better take to Krishna consciousness and make him happy. Right? But anyways, now that you have spoken, Krishna feels very pained at heart. Not that he will be disgusted, not that he will be irritated, he will be pained at heart. When we take to the path of bhakti, we are benefiting ourselves, and when we are benefiting ourselves, Krishna will be very happy. But we are ruining ourselves by not taking to the path of bhakti, Krishna will feel pained at heart. He will be concerned so much. And only to reclaim us, Krishna is coming, descending from his planet, Goloka, to this earthly planet, so many times, hundreds of times, thousands of times in the form of multiple incarnations to reclaim us. He is also sending acharyas to reclaim us. He is also creating this material world to facilitate our material desires so that we can pursue the material desires and get frustrated, and through frustration, we will take shelter of Krishna. Sometimes when child is too adamant, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play, I will not study. Parents have to allow him to play. I will not eat food. Okay, fine, you play. And by playing and playing and playing, and kid gets tired, then he will come back to take some prasad. Then parents are waiting for it. They don't want him to play forever. They want him to come and take some prasad. When Krishna and Balaram are playing so much, Yashodama cows and calls, come Krishna, come, how long you will play? You look so dirty, come take a bath and take prasad. Nanda Maharaj is waiting for you for lunch. Right? Yeah, sometimes Krishna also in the mode of a parent has to facilitate the material enjoyment in this material world so that we get first enjoyment and ultimately take shelter of Krishna. That frustration is required. Many times people say, why Krishna is frustrating all my plans? Why Krishna is giving me so many miseries? Why Krishna is making me suffer so much? I have not caused any harm to anybody. That's required. Krishna has to make us suffer. Otherwise, we will not take spiritual life seriously. We will think that this world is very nice. I can happily go on and on like this. Mama Janmani Janmani Ishwari. Life after life, I will be like this only. We will not take interest in bhakti. If the son of a multimillionaire goes and stays with some beggars on the street, lies down on the street, and if the father happens to see him, what does the father do? He will come and gently ask him, invite him back home. The child is not coming. The father will scold him. The father may sometimes even create some trouble to make him feel very, very uncomfortable, that he will run away from that setup and go back to his home. Similarly, when we are finding some comfort in the material world, Krishna will make us so uncomfortable in this material world so that we become inclined to go to the spiritual world. The purpose of all miseries is to become detached from the material world and become attached to the spiritual world. is to take some interest to go to the spiritual world. That's the purpose of all the miseries in this world. Basically, Krishna feels pity, Krishna feels concern, Krishna feels pain at heart. He has no pain, actually speaking. Krishna has no suffering. He is Sachidananda Vigraha. He is always blissful, ever blissful, spiritually blissful. But he has one concern, one problem, that is, all of us are not taking interest in bhakti. And we are struggling. Seeing us, he feels very unhappy. Same as the pure devotees also. Pure devotees of Krishna also. Like you see, Prahlad Maharaj prayed. Naiva dvije paraduratyaya vaitaranyah tvadvirya gayana mahamritamagna chittaha soche tato vimukhache indriyartha maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudha. He says that, oh Lord, personally I have absolutely no problems in this world. But I only have one problem. I lament for one thing. What is that? Sochetato vimukachetasa indriyartha. Indriyartha, for the purpose of gratifying one's senses, these conditioned souls have become vimukachetasa. Vimukachetasa means they have turned their consciousness away from Krishna. Indriyartha, for the purpose of gratifying their material senses. I am concerned about them. Maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudhan. Maya sukhaya means illusory material happiness. Bharamudvahato. Bharam means heavy burden. These people are carrying great burden of material happiness. Happiness is a burden? Yes, happiness is a burden. The more we gratify our senses, the more we seek enjoyment on a sensual plane, material plane, in wealth or money or opposite gender or whatever, that is like a bhara. That's like a heavy burden on the head. Maya sukhaya bharamudvahato vimudhan. Like a donkey carries so much burden on the back just so that he will get few lumps of grass from the washerman. Prabhupada says that grass the donkey can get anywhere. But this washerman is alluring him. I will give you grass. Come, carry loads of these clothes. And the donkey is carrying traditionally. In those days, washing machines were not there. But traditionally, even Kamsa also had a washerman with so many thousands of braying donkeys. Right? So donkeys used to carry all these loads. So sometimes to make the donkey work, the washerman will tie a stick around its neck, and the stick comes up to its face like this, and he will hang a carrot or some eatable, some little lump of grass to that stick. The stick is tied right to the neck, so it's just like 1 foot away or a few inches away from its face. So the donkey keeps on moving to get it, to eat it. But as the donkey is moving, this lump of grass and this carrot is also moving. Right? That's how he will make him work. Sukhaya karvani karoti loko natai sukham vanyadu paramamba vindeta bhuyastata eva dukkham yadatra yuktam bhagavan vadhinnaha. Sukhaya karvani karoti loko. People do so many things, they take up so many endeavors to get sukha, to get happiness. Natai sukham, they don't get any happiness. Va anyadu paramamba. Va anyad means they get opposite. They get opposite, which is distress. They endeavor for happiness, they don't get happiness, they get distress, but they don't stop. That's the problem. How to give a pause, how to stop this useless, unnecessary endeavor to pursue material happiness only to get frustrated. Then this question, this sloka is spoken by Vidura as a question to Maitreya Muni. Then Maitreya Muni responds to this question saying that Soham drinam kshilla sukhaya dukkham mahadgatanam viramaya tasya pravartaye bhagavatah puranam yadaha sakshat bhagavan rishubhyah. Soham drinam kshilla sukhaya dukkham. The conditioned soul is working so hard for a meager amount of happiness. For a small amount of happiness, they are working so hard to stop this. Pravartaye Bhagavatam Puranam. Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken to mitigate their sufferings, to stop their unnecessary endeavors for sense enjoyment. That is the purpose of Bhagavatam. Anyways, a short answer to this question is Krishna will feel very unhappy to see us struggling without bhakti. And even devotees also feel very unhappy seeing that. Just to assist us in our path of bhakti, the devotees. And the Lord will endeavor so much to reclaim us, to bring us back to the right consciousness. The greatest, Krishna has so many qualities. The greatest quality of Krishna, or the topmost quality of Krishna is, you tell me, what is the topmost quality of Krishna? His mercy, His love, His affection for all His devotees. That's the topmost quality of Krishna. And what is our topmost quality? We may have so many qualities. Our greatest quality is to reciprocate with Krishna's mercy, to receive that Krishna's mercy. Of all the attributes of Krishna, Krishna's greatest attribute is His love, His affection, His concern for all of us. And our topmost quality, the best part of ourselves, is to reciprocate with that. Reciprocate with Krishna's mercy and receive that mercy of Krishna. Right? The best way of living life is to be in harmony with the best part of ourselves. Means we have multiple parts, so many parts within us, right? One part of us is aspiring for money, another part of us is aspiring for some fame or prestige, another part of us is aspiring for sense gratification, another part of us is frustrated with somebody, another part of us is holding some grudge or inner pride. But one part of us is aspiring for love, for Krishna, Krishna Prema. As sadhakas, somewhere deep within we have some excitement to love Krishna, right? We want to be connected to Krishna. That's why we are here. But there are multiple other parts who are distracting us. So the best way of living life is to be in harmony with this best part of ourselves, which is aspiring for Krishna Prema, which is reciprocating with Krishna's Prema, right? Thank you. Any other question, comment, clarification?
I don't have any questions, but thank you so much for that lecture. Really touching. I always been fascinated by your recitations of Kundamala Sutra versus Prabhuji. So, is it possible to recite just one sloka for us, the beautiful ones, which you feel, inspired or something?
Oh, it's hard to choose one. If you have any preference, then we can do that. Otherwise, I'll randomly speak something.
You can please randomly recite.
Krishna is the supreme protector. Krishna rakshatu no jagatraya guru Krishnam namadham sada Krishne nakhila shatravo vinihata Krishnaya tasmai namah Krishna deva samuthitam jagatidam Krishnasya dasosmyaham Krishne tishthati vishvameta dakhilam He Krishna rakshasvama. This sloka describes how Krishna is merciful. Krishna is our only protector. We have to take shelter of Krishna alone and no other shelter is required. Any other question or comment? Or shall we do a recap? Yes. Tava kathamritam. Tell me 2 meanings of Tava kathamritam. One at a time. Just only one devotee raise your hand and here comes.
Katha by Krishna. Katha told by Krishna.
Only that one meaning?
Second meaning is Katha about the Krishna.
Katha about Krishna. Tava kathamritam refers to Katha spoken by Krishna and Katha spoken about Krishna. Then Tapta Jivana? Anyone else?
The life of the sufferers. And the two kind of sufferers, the devotees and the gopis,
others are conditioned souls. Conditioned souls are in separation from Krishna, and pure devotees are also in separation from Krishna. But the separation of conditioned souls is characterized by their forgetfulness, but pure devotees remember Krishna. Yes, third point. Kavibhiriditam.
All the
What's the...
ancient and modern poets are describing in a suitable way.
Yes. Ancient poets have already described Krishna Katha nicely, but modern poets have to take it up. They have to carry on the legacy. Then fourth, Kalmashapaham. What are the two meanings of Kalmashapaham? Anyone else? Yes, Prabhu.
External miseries as well as the miseries within one's heart.
Not only misery, contamination. Kali Kalmasha and Hridaya Kalmasha. The contamination within our own hearts and contamination of this overall Kali Yuga. Krishna Katha will protect us from being contaminated by the allurement of Maya outside. The more we equip ourselves with Krishna Katha, the more we take shelter of Krishna Katha, the more regularly we hear the spiritual sound vibration, the more we will be unaffected by the Maya around us. If you don't hear, you will be affected by Maya. If you don't access Krishna Katha, then Kukatha will corrupt our minds. Kukatha matignihi. Yanna vrajantyaga bhido rachana anuvada sranvanti yenya vishaya Kukatha matignihi. Yasta shrita hata bhagay rubhirata sara tamstam kshipantya saraneshu tamassuhanta. Lord Brahma says in the third canto of Bhagavatam, who cannot enter Vaikuntha? Those whose minds are corrupted by kukatha, bad topics, materialistic topics, they cannot enter Vaikuntha. Kukatha mati ghnihi, their minds are corrupted. Yastu shruta hata bhagir, because of hearing such materialistic topics centered on sense enjoyment and exploiting others, or politics, etc., they lose all their good fortune. They lose great opportunity of human life. Kukata mate ghinihi yatu shruta hata bhagair means they lose their good fortune. Dubhirartha sara, they lose the essence of life. Tam kshipanti asharaniyeshu tamassuhanta. They are cast away into deeper and darker regions of hell without any sharan, asharaniyeshu. This is what Brahma says in the beginning of creation. Therefore, taking shelter, Krishna Katha is the only way. It is Krishna Katha that inspires us to take shelter of Krishna Nam. Right? Unless we hear the glories of Krishna's name, how can we chant Krishna's name? You have to hear. Although we are chanting Krishna's name, holy name is everything. Harer Namaiva Kevalam. Satyam Satyam Punaha Satyam Harer Namaiva Kevalam. You know that Kevala Ashtakam? Satyam Satyam. There is nothing in this world that is permanent. There is this shloka in that Nishvasena hi vishvaso kadaruddho bhavishati Satyam Satyam Punah Satyam Harer Namaiva Kevalam. You can't trust this breath. Nishvasenapi vishvaso. Nishvasa means your breath, the breath in your nostrils. Don't put any vishvasa or faith or trust on your breath. It can stop at any time. But keep faith in holy name. If you keep faith in the holy name of Krishna, if you constantly chant Krishna, 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 then that name of Krishna will protect us. Just like name of Narayana protected Ajamil, although he was about to be taken to hell by Yamadutas. Right? So this is the real protection. Don't put any faith or trust in external stuff, in the even on your breath also. Okay, next, fifth point, right? Shravana Mangalam. What are the two meanings of Shravana Mangalam? Two perspectives.
Auspicious to read Krishna Katha and live with Krishna Katha.
Correct. That's the meaning. So Krishna Katha creates auspiciousness in two ways. How? How is that? What is attainable? Krishna Katha makes the ultimate goal of Krishna Prema attractive and attainable. By hearing Krishna Katha, we get attracted to this goal of Krishna Prema, and we will eventually attain that goal of Krishna Prema also. Okay. Then Bhurida Janaha, two types of Bhurida Janaha. Who are they? Those who speak Krishna Katha and those who facilitate this spreading of Krishna Katha. Thank you very much. If you don't have any questions, we can wind up. What's the time? Official time? 8:35? We'll conclude. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.